his training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
Joe Rogan has reacted to Crawford's monster training for the Canelo fight. He highlights Crawford's elite switch hitting skills and adaptability, suggesting they may counteract Canelo's raw power and experience despite the size difference. He voices concern that Crawford needs to be big enough to withstand Canelo's devastating shots and cautions about the risk of being overpowered. Rogan doesn't mince words. He's firmly rooting for Crawford in the mega bout against Canelo Alvarez.
Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's going to fight Canelo.
Oh, man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit. That dude,
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
On a recent Joe Rogan Experience episode with Jim Lampley, he was asked who he favors and without hesitation replied, Crawford, later explaining, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo is slowing down. Rogan admires Crawford's slick footwork, adaptability, and strategic finesse. Even while noting the daunting size and power difference Canelo brings to the ring, Rogan also warned Crawford not to step into the ring with Canelo without caution, citing size and power concerns. He also declared he'd watch the fight,
which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrogging. He goes to super middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, just train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 54?
calling it probably the biggest fight in boxing. In his podcast, Rogan even discussed cartel mule runners while breaking down the matchup, blending fight analysis with unexpected cultural commentary. On the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford himself reflected on his 2023 showdown with Errol Spence Jr., sharing how thorough preparation made a difference. He told Rogan, "Everything you see fight night, we drilled it time and time again," attributing the smooth execution in the ring to intense repetition and training. Crawford also addressed concerns about Canelo's size, noting he might be bigger than me. But big don't mean stronger. Teddy Atlas sees a Canelo versus Crawford fight as a classic size versus speed showdown. Canelo brings a raw power and home field advantages, while Crawford may hold the upper hand in agility and ring IQ. Comparing to Pacquiao's upset over De La Hoya, Atlas emphasizes Crawford's elite instincts, timing and elusive style. Despite Canelo's proven dominance at higher weight classes, Atlas believes Crawford is very, very special.
Look at the elite of the elite boxers. To a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined. Yeah. And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he able to overcome physical disadvantages with savvy, versatility, and intangible skills that could define the outcome during the training. Crawford has unveiled a dramatic body transformation in preparation for his super middleweight clash with Canelo Alvarez. Having campaigned at 154 pounds, Crawford bulked up significantly, walking around at 185 pounds with earlier footage showing him near cruiserweight levels. Despite the added muscle, he remains lean and well-defined, showcasing the benefits of disciplined training and conditioning. However, not everyone is convinced. Strength coach Rob Aosta warns that Crawford's rapid weight increase from 154 straight to 168 and beyond.
Actually, practicing it, that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going to practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger because at first, when I go southpaw, it was only my right. Then when my hand got messed up, just started working on the left, and it started getting stronger and stronger, and I started getting more accurate because at first, it's just throw it just to be throwing it. And then, it just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right.
Could compromise his speed and stamina. When facing Canelo's elite power boxing coach Greg Hackett also believes a knockout win for Terence Crawford over Canelo Alvarez isn't realistic in today's 12-round era. Canelo, a hardened opponent, would simply not go down that easily. Hackett argues that Crawford lacks both the ungodly punch power and the willingness to stand toe-to-toe and trade heavy blows. Instead, he expects a masterclass from Bud, technical boxing over flash, and says only in the old 15-round format might Crawford's style have the stamina and opportunity to wear Canelo down for AK.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles. I believe that he has.
Meanwhile, the tension between the fighters is also rising as the fight is coming closer. Canelo quipped that Crawford would learn what happens when a good fighter jumps up and his opponent is a great fighter. Crawford snapped back. So that means you're a good fighter, and Dimitri Val is a great fighter, right? Every time you stepped up, you lost. It was a sharp rebuke dripping with bravado, and a clear reminder of Canelo's loss to Bivol. Andre Ward, the former 2-division world champion, delivered a candid endorsement of Crawford in the coming showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Ward said, "I'm not betting Terence Crawford against anybody right now."
Crawford coming in the ring, and Crawford doing everything he can to match Canelo's power, possibly size, and to, at a minimum, try to just maintain what speed he already possesses. Because, when you go up in weight, sometimes you compromise speed. So we know Crawford and his team are doing everything they can to, at a minimum, maintain his speed. But the question came up, okay, since Crawford is looking to come in the ring fast, powerful. We know he's already brilliant. Shit, what if Canelo comes in lighter? I'm like, lighter? Yeah. What happens if Canelo says, you know what, I'm not going to try to come and just outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night because I realize I'm in there with somebody who's very agile and who's probably going to be faster than me. And although I have timing, he has timing too. So I can't afford to be 2 or 3 steps behind Terence Crawford in my speed.
And added that Crawford is someone you can bet the house on. Despite acknowledging the significant weight jump and danger of the matchup, Ward asserted that somebody would have to prove to him that they can break Crawford's will, and he hasn't seen anyone do that. Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion known for his technical mastery, has expressed deep admiration for Crawford.
How do you feel like he will do going against somebody like a Canelo at 168?
I think Bud, man, one thing I love about Bud, he willing to challenge himself. And when you're willing to challenge yourself, you can surprise yourself. But that's a hell of a feeling. I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit there and brawl with Canelo, but at some point you're gonna have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? You can't let Canelo press you. You know what I'm saying? Because he great at that, and he a bully. He is a bully. But Bud, I believe, got bully tendencies too. You know what I'm saying? And he could be crafty. But I think if he approach it the way he approached Spence, then we get a way better fight than people think. Now, what I saw when he approached Spence was, I can't make a mistake. I can't let him do too much. I can't let him be a bully. I think if he go at Canelo the same way, then we get a great fight on our hands. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's gonna be that dominant, but I'm just saying I think we get a great fight on our hands.
In interviews, he labeled Crawford not just good, but amazing, and asserted that for youngsters, Crawford should be in the book on how to learn boxing. Ahead of the Canelo-Alvarez fight, Bivol again praised him as one of his favorite boxers, noting both his impressive size and elite skills, and affirming that he believes Crawford can beat Canelo